A very good morning everyone. I am Dr. Mohit Kumar Tiwari. I am working as an assistant professor in Kumar Engineering College in the Department of Applied Science and Humanities. Today I am here to present a lecture on the topic speech delivery of the subject Soft Skill 1 KNC 101. Before I begin with the topic speech delivery, I would like to say some superb lines of the William Arthur Ward. He said that mediocre teachers tells, good teacher explains, superior teachers demonstrate, and superb teacher inspires. That is what actually the result of the speech is. Nice lines. Before going in depth with another slide, let me say few words about communication, conversation and speech. Obviously, delivery part also. Speech is official. It is presented at official platform, usually prepared in advance, delivered by a person to a many persons. Conversation is the exchange of the words, while communication is the transformation of the ideas, thoughts into action, into word action. So we see that in speech we are making use of communication also, which means to share, derived from the Latin word communicare. Literal meaning is to share, which means to share our ideas, feelings, sentiments, thoughts and emotions from one person to another person. And during our speech part, I am also making use of the conversation in between one or two person, exchange of the ideas in between one or the two or more person. That is what the communication is. Now, speech, like communication, when I deliver my speech, like suppose right now I am delivering a lecture, okay, right now. So I am giving some speech on some particular topic, Through my speech, I can become a celebrity in a day. Means through my effective speech. And if the speech is bad, the audience will never appreciate. So what is required for a good and effective speech delivery is that, if possible, I repeat, if possible, have an idea about your audience, that where you are going to deliver your speech. At times, on the moment you get the topic to speak, that is another matter. But if you know about the topic, prepare in advance, get an idea about the audience also, and also keep in mind that your speech should not be too short or too long. Always have an eye contact with the audience during your speech delivery part. If you will look at your feet or to the left or the right, up or down, that would give the meaning as if you are nervous, you are facing an anxiety. then maybe the audience also don't like. A scene will be created. The audience may start at turning, nodding, or monotony may develop. The boredom situation may prevail. And at that juncture, when you will see the faces of the audience, even you will get embarrassed and your effective speech will become your bad speech. Through the speech which is done through vocal sounds, I impress the audience, means I am inspiring the audience, and this inspiration only leads to listen you in a second round also, in a third round also, or whenever you are delivering the speech, that inspiration will inspire them to listen to you again and again. So have a speech like in Julius Caesar, what at the end, after the death of the Julius Caesar, Antonio turned the mob in the favor of the Julius Caesar, which was against the Julius Caesar. How? Through his speech delivery in such a way that the mob turns against the Brutus. Earlier, the mob was, the public was with the Brutus, that Brutus, you did right by killing the Julius Caesar. So, in many of the occasions we see whosoever have a quality of speaking well, keeping in the mind about the importance of the voice, like voice include rate, pitch, volume, articulation and pronunciation. So, importance of the voice is there during your speech part. We have to have the pauses while speaking, because during a speaking part, I cannot say that here is comma, colon, semicolon, hyphen or the question mark or the exclamatory sign. So, the way you speak out, the things are articulated and noted in that way only. So, have a good articulation with good intonation. We have to have a high volume, we have to have a low volume. We should be aware of this. So, then only we can say that we are going to have a good speech delivery. Let's see in the slide. I have a content. In the content, the first we have the introduction, then meaning of speech and delivery, importance of speech and delivery, then significance of voice during speech and delivery, then types of speech according to purpose, then types of speech according to delivery, then conclusion. So, the first one is the introduction part. In the introduction part, we see like when we speak in front of the audience, obviously if the speech delivery is there, the audience will be there, no doubt. One must know how to control their voice, like I said before also. Basically speaking in a way so that the audience may feel, comfortable, they understand you also and feel the main points of your speech. This is very significant. If the audience is not able to understand you, audience is not able to get the real meaning, original meaning, what actually you want to convey, then that speech is not a good speech. So, for that, we should keep in mind that I should be oriented towards the audience also, that they should feel comfortable, they should understand, and they should also able to note down the main points of our speech. Secondly, we see the aspect of the voice. We should work to control our volume, pitch, rate, pronunciation and articulation. Then, the meaning of the, as per the content, the meaning of the speech. Here, what actually the meaning of speech is, because the topic is speech delivery. So, first understand what is speech and then what is delivery. That is why in the beginning I explained about communication, conversation and speech, because everything is done through our communication part, and communication is done with the help of the language, which is helping us as a bridge, as a tool. So, we can say communication is the main mode and medium of communication. Okay. So, speech, it is the ability to express thoughts and emotions through vocal sounds and gestures. Through vocal sounds and gesture. What? Speech is the ability to express our thoughts, feelings, sentiments, emotion. How? Through vocal sounds, like I am pronouncing right now. Through vocal sounds, vocally I am pronouncing, and gestures which are involved during the sound process. So, the act of doing this is known as speech. Is known as speech. We can also say, secondly, that speech is something only humans are capable of doing, and this ability has contributed greatly to humanity's ability to develop civilization. Humanity's ability to develop civilization. Means we can say, through our good speech delivery, the thing is focused in the sentence that only humans are capable of doing this ability and has contributed greatly to our civilization. Yes, of course, it has contributed, no doubt. Then we see speech allows humans to communicate much more complex information than animals are able to. Here, if I compare the human's speech with the animal's speech or animal kingdom, animal family, human's family with animal family, then we see that we say that we are superior from human beings, or sorry, we are superior from animal. We the human beings are superior from animals because we have got what? This language, communication, conversation and speech. Speech is what? Speech is formal, delivery, prepared in advance by one person to many persons. So, just because of this language or communication or speech, we are superior from the other entities like animals, because we can keep records while animals cannot keep the records. We can improve, we can get back. Animals cannot when we compare the human beings with the animals. Now, what is the meaning? What is the meaning of, we see here, meaning of delivery. When we say delivery, let's see, speech is the ability to convey thoughts and emotions through vocal sounds. Now, the way to convey, or we can say how to convey that is called the delivery. The way we are conveying, or if the question arises how we are conveying, then that process is called the delivery. We see here, delivery refers to the manner in which you transmit message to your audience in a manner. See, in a manner. In what manner you share your or transmit message to your audience. So we see in public speaking, it means how you give your speech. Means you are giving the speech at the public domain, but how you are giving your speech, that is called delivery. In the context of public speaking, we can say delivery refers to the presentation of the speech you have researched, organized, outlined and practiced. Again, here the difference comes between the communication, conversation and the speech delivery. Again, through these lines you can see. In the context of public speaking, delivery refers to the presentation of the speech you have researched. Means in speech we have researched, organized, outlined and practiced. Usually we do. While communication can be anywhere, anytime with anyone, conversation can be anywhere, anytime with anyone. Speech is somewhat, or usually we say, official. Next. Delivery is important, of course, because it is what is most immediate to the audience. It is very immediate to the audience. Also, I can say delivery relies on both verbal and non-verbal communication. Verbal and non-verbal communication. I am not going in deep about the verbal and non-verbal communication, but in a one or sentence I am saying that verbal communication is of two types, oral and written. When we communicate orally, that is oral communication. When we communicate in a written form with some documents, that is written communication. And non-verbal communication, we can say kinesics or body language through our eye contact, facial expression, postures, gestures, shrug of the shoulders, pointing fingers, showing thumb, shrug of the shoulders, and in so many other ways also. That is your non-verbal. Now, if I am studying speech delivery, then the question comes to the mind first also that why should I study about speech delivery? What will be its significance or importance if I am studying about speech delivery? Yes, of course. Why I am delivering a lecture on the topic speech delivery? What is its importance? So, dear, everything has its advantages and disadvantages, merits and demerits, pros and cons. So, if speech delivery is there, it is having some importance also. Maybe it is not having any importance to any of the person. It depends on the individual perceptions. Okay. Now, we see that well prepared and practiced presentation can be a key to success as a speaker. So, this is what is written here, that well prepared and practiced presentation can be a key to success as a speaker. Obviously, if we will work hard, if we will practice for anything, not for only speech delivery. Here the topic is speech delivery, so obviously I will say that if I have practiced, I am well prepared, then it is going to become a key to success, to become a good speaker. So, delivery can communicate your confidence and preparedness to your audience. Your confidence, preparedness to your audience. Next we see effective delivery. What type of delivery? Effective delivery shows your audience that you have researched your topic and understand what you are speaking about. An effective delivery allows you to pull it all together, to showcase your work and to speak with confidence during your delivery. So, effective delivery shows your audience that you have worked on the topic, you are having the knowledge on that topic. If you have the knowledge on any of the topic, if you are having the knowledge on any of the topic, then ultimately you will be having the confidence. Confidence only comes if you are having the knowledge. So, confidence and knowledge both are required for the speech delivery. Alone confidence cannot deliver a good speech. Alone knowledge also cannot deliver a good speech. Both are required for a good speech delivery. So, next we see significance of voice during speech delivery. Voice, as I told earlier also, I am not going in much depth about the voice part, but even then it is required during speech delivery. It is having its significance during speech delivery. So, I am just saying a little bit about like voice. The first part under voice comes is the rate, means your speed. You are a good speaker, you can speak well, you are having the knowledge, you are speaking, but if you are not paying attention towards your speed, if your speed is too high, too fast you are, the audience will miss out actually what you are saying. If some missing will be there, then the audience will not appreciate. Then comes your pitch. Pitch means high and low of your voice. At times your voice get high and low, which is required also during your speech part of your voice. So, the speech in the same tone should be avoided. That will bring the monotony. That will look like as if you have on the tape recorder or the robot is speaking, not a human being. So, pauses are also required. The pitch is required. Where to high and where to low your voice. Next, we see volume. Volume is the loudness or the softness of the voice. When you are loud, your voice is loud enough to listen. Even the back, at the back, the students are sitting. At times, they are unable to listen to the teacher. So, they don't pay any attention. They say different types of negative faces. We can judge through their facial expressions. So volume should be maintained. You should have a, if required, you should have a loud voice. And if you are talking to someone who is near to, you should speak in a soft way. So, volume, significance, loudness and softness of the voice. Now, articulation. Now, what is articulation? It refers to crispness. Crispness and distinctness with which we say the syllables in a word. This is what called the articulation, that we are articulating, where to articulate the different words. Pronunciation. Next is pronunciation. It refers saying a word correctly. Look, dear, if you want that the listeners should listen actually what you are saying out, so you should have a good pronunciation of that language in which you are speaking out, because at times what happens, if your pronunciation is somewhat you can say that different apart from that language it is, so the person may be unable to understand what actually you are saying. For example, if I say one or two words, if I say that pet, so it may sound also like pet in Hindi and PET, pet in English, having different meaning. How to pronounce this word correctly means you should have the knowledge of the phonetics. Now, what is the phonetics? Study of the sounds. The way to speak out correctly the different words, which is having 44 sounds, 24. consonants and 20 vowels, and under 20 vowels we are having 12 pure vowels and 8 diphthongs. That is another boundary. I will discuss on this topic phonetics in my any other lecture. Now let's move. Speech delivery as per the purpose. Speech delivery as per the purpose means what my purpose is, why I am delivering my speech. So it could be of informative speech, that I want to share some information to my audience. I would like to convey my understanding to them. Second one, entertainment speech. This is what, just to create a type of healthy, funny environment, just to let the audience enjoy. So before having any of the function, we have an entertainment type of speech, whether it is a birthday party or marriage party we see, or some dance party. There is some anchor person who first like to entertain us, and then they begin with their proper functions. Then we have persuasive speech. It seeks to provide the audience with favorable or acceptable ideas that can influence their own ideas and decisions. If I am having in myself persuasive skills, or my speech is persuasive, certainly I will be able to convey or pursue the person to whom I want to get conveyed or pursued. So dear, we see that persuasive speech, which comes under the purpose of the speech, seeks to provide the audience with favorable, acceptable ideas. Favorable, acceptable ideas. Next. Now, here, types of speech according to delivery. Types of speech according to delivery. We see types of speech according to delivery, and earlier it was types of speech according to purpose. So now delivery, we have impromptu speech. Impromptu speech. Now, what is impromptu speech? The word impromptu means done without preparation or planning. Means I was not ready for that. I was having no idea, no planning was there. But I am asked, yeah, I got a chance to give an impromptu type of speech. So impromptu speech means I speech delivered without any preparation. Delivered without any preparation. Sometimes there will be situation in technical field when you will have to speak in impromptu manner. It can happen with anyone, that today you are supposed to give a speech on this. You are not aware with the topic, you are not having the time, but you have to speak. So that type of speech is called impromptu speech. For example, when we see like you are asked unexpectedly. At times it happens that I am asked unexpectedly by your boss at a meeting to give a briefing on some problem or a status report on some project. On such situation, you don't have time to plan your speech and you have to deliver an impromptu speech. So it happens in our working culture. Anytime anyone can ask you, yes, here I appoint you to now say something at the stage. That type of speaking or that type of speech delivery is called impromptu speech. Now some advantages of impromptu speech according to delivery. We are having the advantages of impromptu speech. So we see you sound very natural if you are able to deal to cope up with that situation, means you are able to speak out in an impromptu manner. If you are able, you are having that type of skills that you can speak without preparation also. So that will sound very natural, because you don't get enough time. The audience will appreciate that how nicely he has spoken. You can use personal examples from your experience. You are getting an opportunity to share your personal experience also there. So this speech shows how right individuals are at the thinking for themselves on their feet. Means how good you can speak out when you are asked on spot to speak. So this is, we can say, advantages of impromptu speech. Now disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? Here we see, this speech lacks organized development of ideas because of the shortage of time. Yes, obviously I didn't get any time. When I didn't get any time, I am not planned for that. If I am not planned, I am not ready for that. But even then, if I was able to speak out, yeah, I have been asked to speak out. So the disadvantage is that you may lack the development of the ideas. Means your ideas are not synchronized, not systematic as expected. So there is frequent use of vocalized pauses. We say, yeah, you know, actually we can be like this also, we can like with this also, I want to say, yeah. So this way the things happen. Next, although you are familiar with the topic, maybe you are familiar with the topic, your speech may lack details and supporting information. Yes, because on an instant I have got to speak, so I may lack the details and the supporting information. The details and the supporting information I may lack. So this, you can say, are the disadvantages of impromptu speech. Next, we have extemporaneous speech. Now, the similarity and the difference between the impromptu and the extemporaneous speech to be noticed. Firstly, let's see what the extemporaneous speech is. Generally, to extempore and impromptu, we take it in a one way, in a one meaning, but even then some differences are there. Let's see. Now, what extemporaneous means without planning, as it was in impromptu also, and is considered a synonym for the word impromptu. Synonym for the word impromptu. Yes, synonym for the word impromptu. Extemporaneous speech is probably the most common type of delivery. Speaking extemporaneously allows you to be a directly engaged but well prepared speaker. Directly engaged but well prepared speaker. This is what the difference between the impromptu type of speech and the extemporaneous type of speech. Next, extemporaneous speech, it is neither read nor memorized, so it is never delivered exactly the same way. It is neither read nor memorized, so it is never delivered exactly in the same way. So most extemporaneous speakers rely on notes of some sorts of using index card or technologies such as PowerPoint. Happens that most of the extemporaneous speakers they depend on notes or index card or short note like a card or PowerPoint. Next, advantages of extemporaneous speech according to delivery. First, we see extempore speech are more spontaneous and sound natural. Obviously, it will sound natural because I am delivering speech delivery in a form of extempore. are more spontaneous and sound natural, which keeps the audience engaged and interested in the topic, because you are not reading. You are just sharing your ideas through your mind power. You are directly communicating with the audience with full eye contact. A well-prepared extemporaneous speaker will also know his topic very clearly and in detail, which will make him sound like an expert in his field. We called the person an expert because the expert person usually don't take the help of any of the written material or visual material. They speak instantly, which sound natural, which will make him sound like an expert in his field, therefore gaining the trust of his audience that he is having a good knowledge. He is a knowledgeable person. So, advantages these are. Now, disadvantages of extemporaneous speech according to the delivery. We see crowd members may interpret nervousness because the topic was not known. I may get nervous. The crowd may notice also if I am not confident or I am not having the knowledge. And stress as poor preparation even if the speaker is an expert on the topic. Second disadvantage, an extemporaneous speech can also be too long or too short if it is not planned properly. Too short is also bad, too long is also bad. So, this is the disadvantage because I didn't got any time to prepare in advance. Next we see manuscript speech. You all know what is manuscript. Means written material and you are supposed to read it. You are supposed to read it. So, where to apply this method or speech? See, this method is often used whenever a complex or technical presentation is made, such as the description of some machine or the policy matters of an organization. Yeah, these things should be read because exactly the same words should be pronounced. No added words should be there. If it is a technical presentation, we cannot add anything of our own. It is precise, it is to the point, it is objective. So, or the policy matters of an organization. Next, we see a manuscript presentation is delivered with a written text and it is read by the speaker word by word. Word by word, and it is required also to read word by word because it is a technical type of presentation where we cannot add anything on the basis of our own ideas. It is a permanent and accurate record of whatever you have to say. Yes, permanent and accurate record what I want to say or convey. So, there is no chances of tampering with the facts. Yes, this is what the advantage, a big advantage. There is no chance of tampering with the facts and the figures. Also, it is a permanent and accurate record of whatever I am saying or he is saying or she is saying or you want to convey or they want to convey. So, next advantage, language get polished because you can write and rewrite. If you feel no, it is not right, it is not correct, you can rewrite, you can again rewrite, you can again rewrite until you get satisfied. Your material until you feel satisfied. Next, disadvantages. Now, what are the disadvantages? Here we see, since you will be reading from the manuscript, you will get less time for making proper eye contact. Yes, if I am reading something, like suppose I am giving my example, I am reading like this. Okay, I am reading like this. Since you are reading to the audience, you cannot talk to them. There is not much scope either for non-verbal communication. Now, if I am reading, I am not having a proper eye contact with the audience. So, if I am not having the eye contact, how will the audience feel? Just think, how will the audience feel? The monotony will be there. And some negative type of feeling will also come about the reader, that he is not having the knowledge, he is not the expert, he is just reading out. If you take the example of some of the politicians, we see those politicians who are able to communicate instantly, like in an impromptu or extemporaneous manner. The audience, the public, the mob appreciate and clap for them and would like to listen to him again and again. And the persons who are reading the paper and giving the speech to the public although the speech is very superb, good content is there, even then the audience or the public mob at times feel sorry or bad or don't like because you are reading. So, this is the disadvantage of manuscript speech. Now, here I conclude about my presentation on the speech delivery in a way that time, I am focusing on time overall. If I conclude, I am focusing on time, that time is an important factor in speech delivery. At the outset, the speaker should know the amount of time given for his speech and prepare accordingly. Time matters a lot during your speech delivery. So, please keep this in your mind. The speaker should use the language well suited for the audience. Too much of scientific terms may not go well with the common public. I am aware with the technical terms. I am expert, like suppose if I am a doctor, I know the word, what is the meaning of the OD? OD means once a day, BD, medicine is prescribed. If in BD form means 2 times a day, TDS 3 times a day, SOS as and when required, means if required then take the medicines, otherwise don't take. So, I am a doctor, I know about these terms, and there are so many other terms also for the doctors and the scientists, the lawyers and the judge. So, their technical terms, if they start making use of their technical terms, maybe the general person will not be able to understand. If the person is not able to understand, then a speech will not be an effective speech. So, keep in your mind that make use of that language only, or if possible avoid jargons, means technical terms. Make use of that language only which the receiver understands. So, too much use of scientific terms may lead to monotony. I am remembering one essay written by J.B. Priestley. Listen very carefully. Written by J.B. Priestley. Making writing simple. Making writing simple. In this essay, J.B. Priestley has written that I write in a very simple manner. Means if I am writing something, I want that everyone should understand that. Not only the highly literate person, but also the person who is not at all literate, who don't know even the ABCD of the language. And the person, by listening only to the reader's parts, understand that what I want to convey. So, I write for my readers or listeners. I don't write for those persons who are highly literate. Highly literate persons will understand if something, then what will about those persons who are not literate, who are not very knowledgeable. So, everyone should be considered. If you are writing something, means you are writing something to communicate. You are communicating with the audience, with the public. If you are communicating, so communication should be proper. J.B. Priestley again says that I can write also in a very hard way, making use of the high sounded words, pompous words. I can make use, but I don't make use. Wherever it is required, like in seminar, workshop and conferences, wherever it is required to present your knowledge in a more and more expert way, then make use of those words, those pompous words, those technical words, because that persons will understand. But the general person, the layman will not be able to understand if you are not writing or communicating up to their level. While we say that the speech, if I am delivering, the message is to convey, to get others understand, not to hear only. This is what the difference between the hear and the listen. In hear you hear, in listening you are understanding also. So, that is what the J.B. Priestley say in his essay, one of his essay, making writing simple. You can also make, before you start your speech, you can make use of the short stories, some anecdotes, some quotation you can begin with. Like in the very beginning, I make use of the quotations of the William Arthur I mentioned. So, and keep this in your mind that whatever short story or anecdotes or quotation you are making use of, that should be of that field only. Means your quotation should be related to the topic you are delivering. And but remember, too much use of anything is not good, is good for nothing. Too much use, too much of anecdotes, too much of short stories, too much of quotations, too much of visual aids, or too much of written part only at times is good for nothing. So, before delivering your lecture or before giving your speech, keep in your mind that how the audience level is. If possible, to get to know about the audience background, that will be very beneficiary for the speech deliver. Whosoever is delivering the speech, that will help him. So, here I am ending my lecture on the topic speech delivery. Hope you all have understood that what is speech delivery and what are its advantages and disadvantages, and what is the significance of the voice over here and the importance of the speech and the delivery during the presentation part. So, I should say thank you very much. Thank you.